Hello everybody and welcome to the Political Riot. I'm your host Mike Taylor, and I know you are all ready for spring to come around in the latter part of the week, but for now it looks like we'll have to deal with what is being known as Snowstorm Rex for at least another day or so. Like I said though, I'm not the weather, I'm Political Riot, so let's start off with some more political stuff today. Before I start, actually, I'd like to give you a little teaser on what's going to happen later in the show. Tonight we have a very magical guest with us, Andy Wallace from the show Illusions at the Table, another popular WTOP show. He'll be giving us a quick performance, and we'll be asking him a little about his show, which you'll be able to see at Thursday at 10:30. Like I said, though, it's time to start with the politics. Now, if you aren't totally buried under snow right now, like the South, you should probably know that the Winter Olympics are underway in Sochi, Russia. You might say, now, Mike, that's for the sports guys to cover, and you are totally right. However, people have been wondering exactly why the amenities in Russia have been so shoddy, not only for visitors such as the journalists and other forms of media, but also for the athletes themselves. Many of you may recall or have seen on Twitter a picture of a door that was bashed through by American bobsledder Johnny Quinn when he went to open his bathroom door and found that he was unable to open it. Despite all these issues, it is rumored across the web that the Sochi Olympics are costing Russia a whopping $50 billion, making it the most expensive Olympic Games ever. According to former presidential hopeful Mitt Romney and a more reliable source, BusinessInsider.com, a lot of those $50 billion were not spent on the Olympics amenities themselves, but to cover up or endorse corruption. Because it will probably be very funny, though, let's see what Mitt had to say on this issue.
You don't need to spend $50 billion, as Russia has, or as China did, to put an Olympic sport. Olympic sport can be demonstrated at $2 or $3 billion, and all that extra money can be used to do some very important things in terms of fighting poverty and fighting disease around the world. That's what we really ought to be using those resources for, as opposed to wasting them in many cases to show off a country, or I think more cynically, to show off the politicians in a country, and to take money from some people so that politicians can be puffed up and be shown around the world, I think is something which is very distasteful at a time when there's so much poverty and so much need.
Granted, this is coming from the guy who himself spent over $300 million in an attempt to get elected, has 6 houses in various locations across the U.S., and has been what has been described as a fleet of cars, mostly consisting of Cadillacs, along with a boat. Granted, there is very little to no paperwork on this, and to prove that Russia did spend its money on anything other than the Olympics, but as you know, there's nothing more reliable than the American media and politicians. So moving out of Sochi and onto more political issues, George Zimmerman is back in the news. I feel like I've mentioned his name more than once in these shows, probably because I have. Anyway, after being shoved into the media spotlight after killing 17-year-old Trayvon Martin, after getting divorced from his wife, and repeated runs with the law enforcement, Zimmerman has revealed that he would like to try to get his life on track, go to college, and hopefully pursue a career as a lawyer. No, it actually says lawyer. I can't believe it. It's a lot like having the Grand Wizard of the KKK become a valued member of the NAACP, which, in case you don't know, stands for the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. In any case, Zimmerman says that he still receives death threats every day from people, but that does not bother him. He makes it clear in one of his videos where he says, and I quote, "The only judge that I have to answer to is God." God, unfortunately, was not available to comment on the Zimmerman case, although Zeus did send us a brief statement saying that Zimmerman's case was still being reviewed in the court of divine or immortal beings. Either way, I figure I'll give George Zimmerman one more chance in the spotlight.
What do you want to do with your life?
Good. I'd like to professionally continue my education and hopefully become an attorney. I think that's the best way to stop the miscarriage of justice that happened to me from happening to somebody else. I don't think it should happen to anyone ever again, not one person.
What was the miscarriage of justice?
The fact that two law enforcement entities stated that I had acted within the laws of our nation in self-defense.
You don't think it was about the law?
I know it wasn't, yes.
And what does that make you?
Like a scapegoat.
A scapegoat for?
The government, the president, the attorney general.
They would be scapegoating you, why? Just to show that they're taking a position on something that matters to a lot of people?
I don't know what they're thinking or why they're thinking it. All I know is that they're doing it. I don't know what agenda they have.
Wait. Did anyone else catch that? No? Just me. Okay. The interviewer, who, by the way, is Chris Cuomo, asked Zimmerman, what was the miscarriage of justice? To which Zimmerman answers, the fact that two law enforcement entities stated that I had acted within the laws of our nation in self-defense. Now, as you can see, this isn't taken out of context or anything. You can probably find this video out there somewhere, most likely on the CNN website. Zimmerman has just claimed that the miscarriage of justice was not persecuting him. Now look, Zimmerman, I really don't know what to tell you other than this is a terrible way to start your career as a lawyer. If I get stuck with you as a lawyer, I think I'll choose self-representation. Anyway, we'll be right back with some more interesting news about your favorite social network, Facebook.
Honey? The credit fairy doesn't exist.
What?
It's make-believe. Nobody left anything under your pillow.
If there's no credit fairy, then we'll make our credit score go up.
We will, by doing things like paying our bills on time.
There's no magic to improving your credit, but there's help, and it's free. Go to creditfairy.org.
What?
So what sets the Rundown apart from other newscasts is that it brings students together to voice their opinions on the world's most important political issues.
There seems to be just more events going on in 2012 than there were in previous years combined.
This nation is based on the foundation that we choose the government.
Do we use 1, 2, and 3? We work hard to bring you the most up-to-date, relevant coverage of the stories you should be following. The country has now gone over the fiscal cliff.
Is gun control necessary? How much is too much?
Does it surprise you that it's taken this long to have a serious talk about gun control? Students need to realize that this is the time when what's going on in Capitol Hill and around the world starts to affect them.
And really, the fate of the entire country is at hand here.
This is it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go camera 2.
Good evening and welcome to the Rundown. I'm Megan Roberts.
Facebook has this.
It was great. They lifted me up on their shoulders, and the first week back, people just said thank you. They just said thank you.
A new generation of veterans is coming home. Make a difference for them at welcomebackveterans.org.
WTOP TV 10, Oswego, New York. I'm the Kid Cowboy.
So some interesting news about Facebook this week that will have Tumblr users absolutely thrilled. When making your profile on Facebook, you now have access to up to 50 custom genders. Rather than the antiquated 2 gender options previously offered, you can now offer the NSA your correct gender designation and have them use the proper pronouns in the file on your life. These possible genders include options such as transgender, cisgender, gender fluid, and intersex, half of which I have no idea what they mean. For fans of Disney's movie Frozen, it's also rumored that you will be able to choose options such as reindeer, Sven, and snowmen. Yes, Olaf, we're talking about you. The final option you can choose is neither, which to me implies that you are indeed an alien from another planet. Unfortunately, these 50 gender options are currently only available in the USA, with no word on when these options will be available in other countries. I guess Russia isn't that understanding when it comes to these alternatives to gender. I mean, go figure. I, for one, am glad that Facebook has made such a progressive step, but they need to go one further. Facebook so far does not allow for the acknowledgement of headmates, aka people who talk to you who aren't actually there. They also don't take into account people with multiple personality disorder. People in my head who talk to me have a right to be accepted onto Facebook. Also, my other personalities have a right to be represented on Facebook as well. Now you might be wondering, what exactly does this have to do with politics? And the answer is, there's a point where the whole political correctness thing has to stop. We're thinking of way too many ways that people can define themselves. It's getting downright confusing and a little bit weird. I mean, I know people have the right to be able to define themselves. That's great. But I really don't need to know how people define themselves based on their mentality or, in some cases, the position of their genitalia. I mean, really, that's your business and nobody else's. It's only a matter of time before Facebook offers to post for dead relatives who can no longer actually use Facebook, mostly due to the fact that they are dead. Now, before someone decides to turn that into a legitimate Facebook idea, let's move on to one of my favorite topics, stoners. In a world that is slowly becoming more liberal as far as politics and policy is concerned, there was a walk for the legalization of marijuana in Wyoming with massive amounts of people gathering for the protest. As a matter of fact, an entire 50 people showed up for the rally, which, in case you didn't know, is the entire population of the state of Wyoming. Yep, there are two pieces of legislation in limbo right now, one to decriminalize pot, the other to legalize small quantities of it. I mean, come on, this is Wyoming. What else are people going to do with their time? Pressing the gays is going out of style. I think they've run out of Native Americans to take land away from. I mean, as cool as Old Faithful is, you can only watch what is essentially the earth passing gas so many times. I'm actually surprised that they managed to get this many potheads out to protest. I mean, I've personally driven through the state of Wyoming. And when I say there's nothing out there, there's literally nothing out there. I'm talking like dial-up computers and tumbleweed nothing. So to somehow connect this many people, it's amazing. The article outlining the march, which was published in the Wyoming Tribune Eagle because no other names were apparently available, got mixed reviews, most of them being rather humorous. One commenter posted, "Weed causes short-term memory loss. I bet most of them forgot to show up." Another posted, "There are only a few people that marched because the other 10,000 of us were at work." Even a third commenter proudly posted, "I'm stoned right now." To which I say, it isn't legal yet, buddy, and I wouldn't post that on the internet. Either way, the feeling among the protesters that Wyoming is a live and let live state and the prohibition of marijuana is ineffective. I think that's mostly ineffective because if you live in a house in the middle of literal nowhere, then no one's going to bother to arrest you because that would take a whole tank of gasoline. And a person who wants to drive 200 miles down a straight road of nothing. Considering some of them said that weed will cure cancer, they might have a point there. Or maybe the cloud of smoke from Colorado is affecting them. Either way, this might just be the biggest thing to ever happen in the state of Wyoming. Much like the people remember the Million-Man March in Washington, people will forever remember the 50-man march in support of weed in the great state of Wyoming. On to a happier topic next time. This time we're going to be talking about coffee, one of my favorite topics. It keeps me up all night. Absolutely love it, studying all that stuff. So we will be right back.
You ever think about buying a bigger place?
Just waiting for a visit from the credit fairy.
There is no credit fairy.
How else will I get a better credit score?
Look, you keep your credit card balances low and only open a new card if you really need it.
No fairy?
There's no magic to improving your credit, but there's help, and it's free. Go to creditfairy.org.
These things we count on every day started as ideas. Ideas from the minds of African Americans. Support minority education today so we don't miss out on the next big idea tomorrow. The United Negro College Fund. A mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Now on to a happier topic this time regarding coffee. Now, I'm sure you've all heard that the popular coffee shop known as Starbucks has received a twin, but not the way it intended to. Just a couple of weeks ago, a pop-up shop known as Dumb Starbucks opened in the LA area. The only difference between it and the actual Starbucks was the word dumb in front of every product. For instance, you can get a dumb iced vanilla latte and a dumb blonde roast, which is so appropriately named, I might add. Much like in the real Starbucks, you can even get CDs with titles such as Dumb Jazz Standards, Dumb Taste of Cuba, and Dumb Nora Jones, which I have already pre-ordered, just to let you know. According to the creator of Dumb Starbucks, Mark Horowitz, who's also a famous comedian and actor on Comedy Central, the parody of the popular coffee shop is actually an art gallery, and the coffee you're buying is considered the art. Tasteful art, Mr. Horowitz. Tasteful art indeed. Unfortunately, you will no longer be able to go to Dumb Starbucks after it was shut down by the LA Board of Health. To that I say, thanks, Obama. I'll conclude my segment of the show with a fun and happy story, which comes from the country of Ireland. Now, Ireland is known for two things: their hatred towards the English and their ability to consume large amounts of alcohol. Well, we can now add another hit to that long list, them managing to copy the popular AMC show Walking Dead. According to a news release in Ireland, a man named Severio Bellante started by playing chess with his landlord, but somehow ended up stabbing him in the chest and attempted to eat his heart out. Now, I don't recall chess being that violent of a game. I remember it being more of a grandfather's game, but I guess if you play it where the loser eats the heart of the winner, it becomes much more of an exciting game. Anyway, now that we've utterly depressed you with the news of Irish cannibalism, we're here to get into a more magical topic. Here to promote a show tonight, we have the hoster of the hot WTOP show, Illusions at the Table. We have Andy Wallace here. We're going to be asking him some questions. He's going to do some magic. We're all going to have a great time here. It's going to be a great show, and can't wait to have him on.
You ever think about buying a bigger place?
Just waiting for a visit from the credit fairy.
There is no credit fairy.
How else will I get a better credit score?
Look, you keep your credit card balances low and only open a new card if you really need it.
No fairy?
There's no magic to improving your credit, but there's help, and it's free. Go to creditfairy.org.
These things we count on every day started as ideas. Ideas from the minds of African Americans. Support minority education today so we don't miss out on the next big idea tomorrow. The United Negro College Fund. A mind is a terrible thing to waste.
So here to promote a show tonight, a show that's on WTOP known as Illusions at the Table. We have the star, host, creator, etc. of Illusions at the Table, Andy Wallace here. He's going to tell us a little bit about his show, and then we're going to see a little bit of magic. I've seen your show before, really wowed me.
Thank
so
you.
I'm really happy to have you on, actually.
Yep.
So,
you know, actually, I'd like to first just thank you for having me as a guest on your show here, allowing me to do a little bit of promotion before my own show actually airs in just 3 days from now, actually.
Really?
So again, thank you for allowing me on.
absolutely. You know, I tell you, I'm going to be watching it. I know I'm going to have everybody where I'm living watching it. It's a spectacular show. Wows me every single time. I've actually
thank you.
I've actually been here to see it before. And even being in studio, I can't figure out.
Keep coming. It's
yeah.
going to be, I want to say more of the same in that you're going to be amazed even more this season. Granted, I might have to do a couple things that you saw last season, but the good majority is going to be material that has not yet been seen on WTOP.
Wow, okay. I'm definitely looking forward to it. So I got a couple interview questions here just to start you off. I kind of want to know a little about your background. So when did you start doing magic?
Again, I have to take a guess of when I started doing magic because I've been doing magic now for about 13 years, and this might give you an idea of my age, which I'm not the most proud about, but I'm up there.
Well, we're not that old, Andy.
I've been doing magic since I was about 10 or 12 years, so factor in about 13 years, and well, I've been doing this for quite some time. But granted, for all that time, I still am at what we call, what is known in the magic world as a hobbyist, meaning I prefer performing for friends and family. And while I do have some very good friends who do this for a personal living, the reason why I stay at just the hobby level is because there's this mental step that you have to take when you go from just doing it for fun to getting paid. And quite personally, I'm in college here. I'm pursuing my own path. I don't want to go down the route of a professional. I want to stay right where I am. I like it.
Okay, well, you know, you've given us a little bit of an introduction.
Yep.
I want to see the real thing going on here. Like, you talk a good game, man. You talk a good game.
Oh,
I got to see something,
I walk the walk, and now I got to...
You got to talk the talk, man.
Well, talk the talk, walk the walk. There.
That too.
All right, so let me show you how this one goes. All right, again, just deck of cards.
Deck of cards.
All right, and let's see. I like keeping the jokers around, but we don't really need those. You got the joker right here.
Okay, I like it. Wait, this is my show. I thought, never mind. It's okay.
No, you see, this is the part of the show. You've been doing all the work. Now it's my turn to actually give you a brief break, and I got to do all the work here.
I'll take it.
All righty, so let me see. I just got to remember one little thing about my deck. See, there it is. Nope, that's not what it is. Just have to find the right card sometimes. Nope, there. Okay. Ah, found it. Anyways, here's what I'm talking about. Right now, we're just going to use the top 4 cards.
Okay.
And these cards are the 4 aces. You see, magicians love their aces. Big reason, very identifiable. And in card games, which is where a lot of card magic got started from, the aces were often the best cards to have. Now, I'll be honest, this isn't really so much, it's not really a trick, but it's a very, very small test. But don't worry, it's probably going to be one of the easiest tests you'll ever take.
Oh, thank God. I'm terrible at tests. So.
All right, so again, the 4 aces. And just to show you, what we have here is the ace of diamonds, the ace of clubs, the ace of hearts, and that, of course, leaves us with the ace of spades. Okay, so now first question, and probably the easiest question all night. What was the last card I named off?
Ace of spades.
Ace of spades, excellent. Yep, and you can see it's still here on the bottom. And in fact, we're going to use the ace of spades for doing this whole trick. So again, I'll keep the ace of spades face up on the bottom. Now this next question, it's a little trickier, but I'm still confident that you might be able to, that you can do it. There's 4 cards in the packet.
Yeah.
Aces on the bottom. I'm going to shift 2 cards from top to the bottom. Where does that move the ace?
That's going to be the second
Second
card
from
in the
top.
deck. Yeah, second
Exactly.
from
See,
the top.
you're doing beautiful. And just to show you that you are in fact correct, we have a second from the top.
Okay.
All right. Now for where it gets hard.
Uh-oh.
That's all I'm going to do. Now again, what was the card that you were? No, where was the ace at?
There's a second card in the deck.
Right. Ace of spades.
Ace of spades.
Well, you see, that was in the previous part. We're doing a new thing now, and you see the second card from the top now is in fact the king of spades. And in fact, not only do we have the king of spades, we have the king of hearts, the king of diamonds, and the king of clubs.
I don't know how. I was. Oh, there was aces there. There's no aces in it.
Yes.
You
and
sir are.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I just
brilliant.
try and do my best. And again, thank you for allowing me to show off this. Let me just throw in a little self-promotion right here. Again, as I said, my show comes up this Thursday at 10:30. And now that I got a working Twitter account, I'm going to be posting some updates. You're not going to get super juicy details, but if you want to follow and find out what's going to be going on with the show, my Twitter is the @illusions, ILLUSIONS _table. And just go find that on Twitter, follow. And right now I don't have any followers. It's sad, but maybe I'll get some, I'll start getting some.
You'll have one by the end of tonight.
Oh yeah. Just follow that, and you'll find out more news about what I'm doing here. And this was just small, but prepare to see a lot more. I wouldn't say super big, but a lot bigger illusions right here at the table, starting this Thursday for season 2 of my show.
All right. Now, before you go, I see you just have a regular deck of cards. Have you ever considered I mean, you're very good. You ever consider like a custom pack?
See a custom deck. As you can see, these are just your normal bicycle cards here, and custom decks are cool, even to us magicians especially. Custom designs. You can get these actually on online magic shops. But the reason why I don't like using them too much is because everyone sees a red back or even a blue back whenever you're doing a deck of cards. You start messing with the design on the back, people start thinking, so I wonder about that deck. I've never seen it. Maybe he's got something funky with that deck that it's maybe not a normal deck. I want to keep that dispelled, so I don't want to. That's why I prefer leaving with these ones. But you might see a custom back.
All right, Andy. Thank you very much for coming on tonight.
No problem. Thank you again for having me on.
Hey guys, thank you for joining us tonight on the Political Riot. Like I said, Andy, Thursday nights at 8 o'clock, and like I said, this is the Political Riot. I'll be seeing you guys later.
Rob, what's up? How's it going? Guys, this is my cousin Rob from Michigan.
What's up?
He's a teenager.
Hey, what's up? All right. Oh, hey, you want to slow down?
No.
Really? Huh. Hey, you know what a beautiful animal is? A horse. A horse. Yeah. Beautiful mane. Unbelievable muscle tone. When it runs, it looks like poetry in motion. It's the most beautiful thing on earth. And sometimes when you feed a horse, its lips will tickle your hand. Just tickle it just a little bit. It makes me giggle sometimes. I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you don't slow down, I'm gonna bite into your head like an apple. And thanks, guys, for listening to my horse stories. I could talk about ponies all day long.
Saveac ambulance respond to a 1 Bravo response, basement of Kegel Hall.
Dispatch, Saveac 1, en route.
Hey, we're with Saveac. How can we help you today?